Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, all together please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ganamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vikrishna Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 14, the three modes of material nature, and today's verse is number 4. So, this is quite a famous verse. Many people like to learn this verse. Please repeat. Sarva-yoniṣu kaunteya mūrtayaḥ sambhavanti tāsāṁ brahma mahad yonir ahaṁ bīja-pradaḥ pitā sarva-yoniṣu kaunteya mūrtayaḥ sambhavanti tāsāṁ brahma mahad yonir ahaṁ bīja-pradaḥ pitā sarva-yoniṣu kaunteya mūrtayaḥ sambhavanti tāsāṁ brahma mahad yonir ahaṁ bīja-pradaḥ pitā. Yes, very famous verse, right? So, word for word, please repeat. Sarva-yoniṣu, in all species of life. Kaunteya, O son of Kuntī. Mūrtayaḥ, forms. Sambhavanti, they appear. Yaha, which. Tāsāṁ, of all of them. Brahmā, the Supreme. Mahad yoniḥ, the source of birth in the material substance. Aham, I. Bīja-pradaḥ, the seed giving. Pitā, father. So, translation Srila Prabhupada. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kuntī, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Please repeat. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kuntī, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Purport Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are a combination of material nature and spiritual nature. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet, but on every planet, even on the highest, where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within water and within fire. All these appearances are due to mother material nature and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds. Yeah, so, Makam karochi vachalam bhangam naitegarim yat kripatamaham vande Sri Guru didatarinam sarva-yoniṣu kaunteya mūrtayaḥ sambhavanti tāsāṁ brahma mahad yonir ahaṁ bīja-pradaḥ pitā. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kuntī, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Yes, so as Prabhupada points out there in the purport, in the material world, the living entities are a combination of material body and the spirit soul. And the spirit soul is impregnated into the material nature by Kṛṣṇa. How? Well, we know from Bhagavatam that when the time of creation is there, that is when Mahavishnu exhales. And at that time, the universe is manifest from the pore of his body in seed form. And Mahavishnu is within the causal ocean. So what comes before that? Well, if we go all the way back to Kṛṣṇa, ahaṁ sarvasya prabhavo mataksa, from me everything emanates. We've discussed this a number of times, but it's good to refresh. On the left side, Kṛṣṇa expands as his Svarup Shakti, Srimati Radharani. So she is the mistress or the queen of all Shakti. That means all the energies of Kṛṣṇa. On the right-hand side, Kṛṣṇa expands as Baladev. And Baladev is generally, but not always, because sometimes Kṛṣṇa directly comes to the material creation, but through Balaram, the Chatuvyuha is expanded. That is Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And so you might ask, what are their functions? So some time back I did a bit of research on that. So the living entity, we've discussed this many times, within the soul there are three distinct activities within the consciousness. One is cognizance or thinking. That means the living entity is a conscious being and he is recognizing his own self. His consciousness reveals his own existence and the existence of things external. So that is supervised by Vasudeva, even in the spiritual world. Then the second function of the consciousness is that it assesses things. We're not only conscious, but we're assessing or thinking and considering, oh, that's a nice painting, that's a nice color, oh, that's broken, so on and so forth. I don't like this, I don't. So we are aware of our own self and the manifestation. That is Vasudeva. Shankarshan is supervisory agent, because in the Vedic paradigm, everything rests upon personality. And those personalities are expanded from Kṛṣṇa. Just like in the Indian government, the laws of the land, the laws of the road, they're all resting upon people, the police and the government and so on and so forth. So there are laws, but they're resting upon people. So yes, the living entity is conscious, but it's resting upon Vasudeva. So the living entity is assessing, oh, this is good, this is bad. He's feeling, and that is resting upon Shankarshan, the first of the quadruple. And then after that, the living entity comes to decision. So he's conscious, and then he's evaluating, and then he's deciding. And that is under prajumna. And that is taken on the basis of yes or no, accept or reject. Sankalp, vikalp. I like this, I don't like this. This will give me happiness, this will give me unhappiness. This gives me so he's accepting and rejecting. That's under prajumna. And then Aniruddha, the child or the son of prajumna, everything is action is performed. Oh, I don't like this, but I like that. So I'm going to take this and I reject that. So 4 things: thinking, feeling, willing, action. So those things rest in the spiritual world. All the expanded Jiva Shakti rest upon that Chaturvyuha. Then Shankarshan expands down for another Chaturvyuha, and they supervise the thinking, feeling, willing, and action in the material creation. Because there is Kuntī, the divine creation, where everything is unmixed spirit. But then, as we will discuss, this material creation, there is a mixture of 2 energies. The living entities, the super soul, incarnation, avatars, and the material nature. So material nature and spiritual nature make up the material creation, but the second Vyuha do the same thing. Vasudeva in the second Chaturvyuha maintains the awareness or the ability to be cognizant. You understand cognizant? Recognize means to cognize again, to see something again that you know. So to be cognizant means to be aware. When we're in deep sleep, it could be said that we're not cognizant. Consciousness is withdrawn. So he is conscious, and then Shankarshan is facilitating the perception of the material world for the jiva, and then the decision-making process, accept, reject, happiness, distress. These are the parameters of the consciousness. And then action is under Aniruddha. So Shankarshan is Mahavishnu, and he is residing within the pradan, in the causal ocean. This is at the beginning of the Bhagavatam. So this causal ocean is the pradan. What is the pradan? So this is vital so that we understand what the material nature is. The pradan, you see, in the spiritual world, Kṛṣṇa is emanating consciousness. That is Chit Shakti. We discussed this a couple of weeks ago, that in the spiritual world, we are within the consciousness of Kṛṣṇa. Mama Angsa. We are within the consciousness of Kṛṣṇa. And we're reciprocating with Kṛṣṇa on the spiritual platform within his consciousness. This is the external world. So in this level, we are within a transformation of the pradan, which is the substance of the causal ocean. So the causal ocean is compared in the Shastra to a cloud. Vaikuntha is like the unlimited sky. The creation has no limit. Don't be scared. And then in one portion, Hare Krishna. So a little more volume is good. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Human drama. So anyway, so where was I? I was just creating the material world. Well, not exactly. Yeah, so what is the pradan? The Vaikuntha is like the unlimited sky. There's no material nature there. There's no material time factor. Everyone is within the consciousness of Kṛṣṇa and is reciprocating with Kṛṣṇa, because we have got free will in the spiritual world. So we're creative and we're relating to Kṛṣṇa. Consciousness is manifest in the spiritual world as Goloka, as Haridam, Lakshmi Narayan, Loka, everything. And we're within the directly, and everything is ecstatic and eternal. So in one section of the unlimited creation, the causal ocean is manifest, and that is like a cloud in the sky. Just like you have now we have rainy season, there is the sky, and then a cloud forms. So the pradan is the cloud. Where does it come from? Kṛṣṇa is emanating consciousness in the spiritual creation. Now, he is lying down on an antasesha, expansion of Baladev, within the Karanadak ocean. Karanadak means the causal ocean. Causal because it's the cause of the material creation. So he is emanating consciousness also. Kṛṣṇa is emanating consciousness in Vaikuntha. Within the pradan, Kṛṣṇa, in the form of Shankarshan, the second Chatuvyuha, is emanating consciousness. But it has an admixture. This is described in the Brahma Samhita. Get yourself a Brahma Samhita and study it. It has an admixture of tama. Tama means forgetfulness. It gives forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So it is Chit Shakti plus tama, forgetfulness. So why? Because Mahavishnu is lying down and being attended by Anantasesh and Lakshmi Devi, and he is in what? It's described also in Brahma Samhita. He's in Yoga Nidra. Nidra means mystic slumber. Right? So what happens when we have a sleep? What happens? We forget our own identity. We enter, this is called swapna. We enter into a dream state. And we may perceive that I can fly in the sky, but I can't do that in waking state. I can fly, or I'm the king of this land, or I'm doing this, or I'm being chased by ghosts, or so on and so forth. We forget our waking identity, and we enter into a forgetfulness of that identity, and we may adopt so many illusory ideas. So this will help us understand that the pradan, or the Shakti that is emanated by the Supreme Lord, it is his consciousness, but he's in yoga nidra. You understand this? Is it clear? So he is the origin of everything, just like we sleep. The origin of sleeping is there in Mahavishnu, there in Kṛṣṇa originally, but he forgets his own identity lying on the bed of Anantasesh with Lakshmi Devi, and he is emanating a form of consciousness that is mixed with forgetfulness. So, as he inhales, the creation is withdrawn within his body, the material creation. As he exhales, it expands out. And he glances upon, this is just like when you, say you go to Bhuteshwar there, or any temple, you will see sarva-yoniṣu kaunteya, you will see yonir, right? You will see the yoni, and you will see the lingam, right? It's a combination in the Shiva temples. There's the lingam, and that is the glance of Mahavishnu. And there is the yoni, and that is the subtotal, or the personification of the material energy. So when the time for creation is there, the glance of Mahavishnu upon the material energy creates the varieties of the material world. But there's more detail to it than that. So the glance contains four things, basically. One is the time factor. Kṛṣṇa says, kalosmi aham, right? Earlier, I am time. Actually, that is Lord Shiva. That is Sadeshwar, Lord Shiva. It is the potency of Lord Shiva. Also, the living entities that want to enjoy the material world, who have been hibernating, if you like, within the body of Mahavishnu, they are also in that glance. And those living entities, unlimited billions, but the Supreme Lord, unlimited as he is, sends them with two things: their karma, their work, and their kaam, their desire. They have performed certain activities, and there is a long record, and they also have desire. And there's the time factor. So this glance, and the living entities, their karma, their desires, and the time factor acts upon the material nature, and all the varieties come out. And it is stated there in 3rd canto, chapter 26, 3rd canto. The title is called Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. And it explains there in detail. This glance not agitates, but affects the material, the pradan, into varieties. And it is the mahad yonir, Brahma mahad yonir. It is the great womb of material nature. So Mahavishnu glances upon the personification, Durga Devi, of the material nature. This glance is the lingam, and the yoni is the material nature. And from that interaction, the three modes appear, the three modes of material nature. So the time factor, acting on the pradan, splits the pradan, or produces the pradan, because the pradan is called also pradan. It is the unmanifested material energy. Vyaktim apanam. It means that the material nature in all its varieties that we experience is not manifest yet. It is in seed form within the pradan. And it comes out into the manifest form from the pradan, and then it is called prakriti, material nature. And it has, it's variously described, but there is the 5 gross elements. They come from the modes of material nature that are produced by the interaction by pradan. Now you might say, how is it produced? Because we've been to material schools and they're always looking for a scientific explanation. How is this interacts with this, hydrogen interacts with this. But in the Bhagavatam it explains, especially in that 26th chapter of 3rd canto, it is the will of the Lord, it is the design of the Lord, it is the Kriya Shakti. This is His desire that this should manifest in this way. Do you understand? Like at the beginning of the class I explained that everything rests upon personality, either empowered personality as devas, or directly upon the Supreme Lord. So the Kriya Shakti of Kṛṣṇa means He's the creator, He is the designer. So by the time factor interacting with the pradan, the 3 modes arise. The 3 modes then act on the pradan to produce the 24 varieties that we see in the material nature. Now what are those 24 varieties? From the interaction of tamagun on the pradan, you get consecutively, you get ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And they have 10 mantras. That means they have a subtle form, and that translates as sense objects. So the sense object of ether is sound. The sense object of air is touch. The sense object of fire is form. In the air and in the ether there is no form perceivable. The sense object of water is taste. The sense object of earth is smell. So that's 10 categories. And then you get the 10 senses, the 5 working senses and the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses. And this is all coming from the action of one aspect of the 3 modes acting on the pradan. How can we understand that? Have you ever seen on the internet, sometimes they have a flat plate, right? And they put sand on it. And then they vibrate it at a certain speed, and different designs arise according to the speed of the vibration. Have you seen it? It's very interesting. They slow it down and this design appears. They speed it up, this. So that gives us a hint that the 3 modes, they have this potency. So the tamagun produces in consecutive way the gross elements, the gross sense objects, and then it produces, out of that, it produces the working senses. So we have 5 gross, they're sense objects, then we have working senses, and that means the sense of hearing, for level with ether. Then we have the sense of touch, for air. We can touch the air, we feel the air blowing on our skin. then we see the sense of sight, which through the eyes we perceive, and then the sense of taste and the sense of smell for water and earth. So now you have 15. What are the other 5? You have the 5 working senses, and the 5 that they're called kamendriyas. The working senses are the ability to speak, and that is associated with the ether, because you speak and you make sound. So then you also have working senses, the arms. So they work within the air. You can. This is just for memory purpose and this and that. They also can work within earth and so on. So that is a working sense. And then you have fire, the fire of digestion, right? And that also includes the evacuatory organs and everything. And then you have the genital, which is associated with water, different fluids to generate living beings and so on, with the wife or different animals. And then you have the legs, and they sit on the earth. All animals have legs and they sit on the earth. So they're the 5 working senses. They rely on the prana generated. The prana is the energy that's generated by the soul as it interacts with the material energy, because the soul is a source of energy, being spiritual. So it is the control of this prana that the yogis want to do, and the enhancement of it. So that interaction of the soul, or the consciousness of the soul, with the material elements produces the energy for the working senses. But the buddhi is receiving within the mind the knowledge from the knowledge-acquiring senses, from the earth, water, fire. So that is the 20 gross elements. Then the mode of goodness, the mode of passion produces the buddhi, that buddhi. And the mode of goodness produces manas. So what is manas? That's a subtle element. Manas is the container of chitta. The consciousness of the living entity is contained within the manas. The manas pervades the gross body. And it can also be projected. Yogis can develop so many skills. But that is produced by the mode of goodness. And the mode of passion produces the buddhi. And the buddhi regulates and controls the chittam inside the mind. And then there is ahaṁkara, which is the subtle effect of the 3 modes. Ahaṁkara is divided into 2, prasātmika buddhi and avaranatmika buddhi. Prasātmika buddhi means this Lord Shiva, the time factor, it has a mystic potency, and one is prasātmika. It gives you a false idea of yourself. I am this material body within which I find myself. And avaranatmika buddhi means, they're called buddhi because this is the ahaṁkara affecting the buddhi, which is controlling the manas, which is the controller of consciousness. It takes a little contemplation to understand these things. So then the living entity is getting ahaṁkara. I am this body, and things related to this body are mine. But he's getting a false opinion, prasātmika, throwing potency. He's thrown into the material, but he thinks it's correct. Avaranatmika means his intelligence is covered. His intelligence. So everyone thinks, I'm this body, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm old, I'm young. These are called upadis. Sava upadi vinir muktam tat paratrena nebalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam. We have to overcome the upadis. But the upadis are there from the jacket of the material energy that clouds every soul. And this is the individual's karma and desire defines his body. It's all supervised by the super soul. So in this way, the material world is created. Now, it out of the pradan by the glance of Mahavishnu. But because this pradan has tama in the conscious as a base element, therefore the natural function of all these varieties, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, they are all forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. Because the Supreme Lord within the pradan is forgetfulness of his self in his yoga nidra lila. So the pradan that is emanating from him contains this basic quality of dreamness. So it is the Maya Shakti. It gives us false ideas which we think are correct. So this is the three modes of material nature. Produces all these different elements. This, for instance, this, the water there, these are all the interaction, this tabletop, this screen, they're all varieties and mixtures of the three modes of material nature interacting with the pradan. You understand? It's quite simple, really. Get a recording and listen 3 times. So, therefore, everything is impregnated. This is what Kṛṣṇa is saying here. Everything, moving and non-moving, living entities, they become manifest within the material nature by my supervision. The 9th chapter, 10th verse, what is that verse? Mayadakshena prakriti suryate sacharam hetunanyena krishnanu. That I am, the material nature is working according to my direction and producing all moving and non-moving living entity. And I am the seed-giving Father. So the seed is the living entity. The living entity, the energy of the conscious vibhinangsa, free will living entity, he is prakriti stani kashati. He is interacting with the material nature, struggling. You know that very famous verse. Mama angsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana prakriti stani kashati. He is in the material nature and he is struggling with it. So, what is sadhana bhakti? Sadhana bhakti means pratyahara, to withdraw, as we were talking about, bhuta shuddhi, to withdraw the focus of the consciousness from the material energy and then fix it upon the Supreme Lord. That is bhakti, very simple. And by this continuous remembrance and avoiding items that give forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord, we realize the Supreme Lord and we become attached to the Supreme Lord. And then disattached from the material nature. You understand? So we're either focusing on all these varieties that have been created in the way I've just described by Kṛṣṇa, the Kriya Shakti, his design. We're either trying to thinking I'm the body, I want to control and enjoy this material nature. Aham Ishvaro, I am the controller of my family, of my business, of my country. And I am the enjoyer. I am controlling to enjoy. So we withdraw from that, kartaham iti manyate. We give up the idea that we are the controller and enjoyer. What's that first sloka in the Ishopanishad? Isha vasya idam samyak yatkinchat jagadam jagat tena taktena bunjita magrida Everything is controlled and owned by the Lord. But we are trying to be the controller and owner. Like Arjuna at the beginning. I don't want to do this battle. I want to control what I do. Because I don't like this fighting amongst kinsmen. So we withdraw from this material assessment, thinking, feeling, willing, and then we apply that to the Supreme Lord. That is the basic principle of all yoga. Whether it's karma yoga, that's one way of withdrawing. Jnana yoga, withdraw from material misconceptions. Ashtanga yoga, pratyahara, withdraw and remain balanced. But then what do you do? In all these yogas, according to your conception, you try to focus upon the Supreme Lord. Just like at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Narada Muni, his mother passed on, so he then went north, remembering the instructions of the Bhakti-Vedantas when they were staying in the guest house, and every evening he would meditate upon the form of Vishnu. And then one time Vishnu appeared, right? And then Dhruva Maharaj, what did he do? He said, oh, I want a big kingdom, so I'm going to go to the forest. And Narada came and gave him mantra. What was that mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he was concentrating on the absolute instead of the material energy. Bharat Maharaj went to the forest. He gave up his kingship and all that distracting duties. And he wanted to go and he wanted to do his bhajan, right? But of course he had trouble by becoming attached to the deer. So he was drawn back to the material. Then he became Jad Bharat. And what was Jad Bharat? Everyone thought, oh, Jad Bharat, he's a very dull, Jad. He doesn't pay attention. He doesn't go to school. He doesn't do his homework. He just wanders around, maybe chanting japa. Like a horse. You put blinkers on the horse, right? So it doesn't run this way or that way. So he didn't want to become distracted again from the spiritual platform. Lord Rishabdev, right? He instructed his 100 songs and sons, mahat sevam dvara maho vimuktes. By serving the Mahajan, mahajena gatasvapantha, you can learn how to fix the consciousness on the absolute truth. So that was Rishabdev. And then it is explained, he became an avadut. Right? And then there's Dhruva Maharaj, after he became a king and fought the record, he went on, this in the Bhagavatam, he went on a tour of the universe. And he would go to the avadutas, right? There was the avaduta lying by the side of the road, adopting the life of a python. Right? He was just sitting there, thinking of the absolute truth. One time I saw Devavraha Baba, many years back, 40 years ago. You know, his samadhi is there. So he did you ever hear of Devavraha Baba? Supposed to have lived 250 years. There's some record about him. So I went there with two other devotees and a translator. And he was up on the platform, about 8 foot high, with a little border. And on that platform they used to have Jamuna sand. He would go up and down the back. So he would just lie there all day. He lived to 250 or something. So I was with this Bengali and I said, ask him a question. He said, oh, what question? I said, ask him, what is the greatest thing you have ever learned? Because he popped his head. There used to be like a little border on his platform when people came to visit him. And so I got that question asked. What is the greatest thing you have learned? And he thought for a moment and then he said in Hindi, always think of Bhagavan. That's what he said. So we withdraw pratyahara from these modes, understanding what they are. Later on, the details of how they affect us. Today's class is like an introduction of how they're created. We withdraw from that focus. And how do we withdraw and maintain a withdrawal? By equanimity, right? By cultivating mode, that means balance. No attraction, repulsion, or be a sadhu, be calm, be self-controlled, don't be angry, don't be you understand? Perform your duties, but within the heart, within the consciousness, maintain a fixation. What does Kṛṣṇa say? Man-mana bhava mad-bhakto, in a devotional way. And then we always say this, tāsāṁ satata yuktānam bhajitam priti-purvakam. Those that worship me with loving affection, I reciprocate with that. And what do? Dadami buddhi yogam tam, I give them intelligence to leave the material world and its attachment behind and come to me. How do I do that? Tesham avanakam patham aham ajnanajam tamat nashyami amabhavasto jnanadipena. With the shining lamp of knowledge, I give them realization of me. Just like Narada Muni at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Vishnu appeared to him. And he felt ecstasy and realization. And then Vishnu disappeared. So then he tried to meditate again. And then Kṛṣṇa, Vishnu, spoke to him. And he said, I have appeared to you, Narada, because I want to inspire your sadhana. I am not able to be seen by those that are not fully pure in heart. But I have appeared before you at this stage of your devotional meditation to inspire you. A bit like Ajamil. He saw the Vishnu Jutas, then he went back and performed sadhana bhakti. So Kṛṣṇa gives inspiration to the sincere devotee in different ways so that they withdraw from material entanglement, the three modes, all these different varieties, society, friendship and love, ownership, this and that, speculation, and they just put their mind upon the Supreme Lord. And how is it recommended in this? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And like we were explaining 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Buddha Shuddhi. Buddha Shuddhi means that you sit down and in a regulated manner, you with pratyahara. I'm not this body, I'm not the paraphernalia of the body, I'm not the thoughts in the mind, I'm consciousness. And now I place that consciousness upon the Supreme Lord and I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And surely Lord Chaitanya is Namo Mahat. He reciprocates in the heart of the devotee. And then we go back to home, back to Godhead, and transfer from this material world. Jai. Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita, Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai. Any question?
We are talking about upadhi, no?
Yeah. How is this related to upadhi? Well, upadhi means unwanted designation. Like I was saying, because of ahaṁkara is affecting the buddhi, which is immersed or the controller of the manas, and the manas is the controller of chittam, the consciousness. So different upadhis come. We're thinking, I'm this body, and then I'm a young body, an old body. I'm a male body, a female. These are upadis. Unwanted, they're false designations. I remember we were talking, Kṛṣṇa in the previous chapter, if you want the vision of eternity, what is it? You don't see the body primarily, you see that within the body there is a spirit soul. Do you remember, Mataji, when we discussed it? The vision of eternity, Kṛṣṇa calls this. We have to see on the spiritual platform at every moment. We have to see beyond the upadis. You see, if I look at the body of a person, because of my material conditioning, if I'm a conditioned soul, then I think this is an attractive body, or this is not an attractive body. Oh, I don't like people from this country, I like people from this state. Oh, he's from Orissa, I'm Bengali, I don't like him. So we react with upadis. These are we're on that material platform. But when we think, here is Prem Nidhi, right? Prem Nidhi? Yes? Dayanidhi. We don't think, this is we think, look, I can see his soul shining in his eyes. We see the soul within everyone. And that is the equanimity we must develop. See, this is practical yoga. Philosophy is good, but practical yoga means that when you go to the temple, don't think, this is a Delhi wala, this is a Lucknow wala, this is old, look at the little kid. Yes, that's there, but you have to see there's a soul there. And that body is the temple of Kṛṣṇa. Super soul is there, the soul is there. And you have to see on that. That is the vision of eternity. So by cultivating that vision, instead of reacting on the bodily platform, then you become a sage, then you become a rishi, then you become liberated. You understand? So this is practical. It's not just for the people in the Bhagavatam stories, it's for us to practice. We go to the temple, we sit in the corner, remembering this, then we see, these are spirit souls. And they're great spirit souls. Somehow they've come to Vrindavan, somehow they're dancing and they're happy in the temple. You understand? So if you see on that spiritual platform, then all the bhava rog, the disease of material envy, abusiveness, like and dislike, it becomes placated. And one develops equanimity because one's not reacting to the material energy. It's not agitating. One is seeing on the spiritual platform. So we have to practice that, and we have to practice chanting on the spiritual platform. That is Sanatan Dham. Within the spiritual world, I'm chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa. You see my point? So we have to turn this knowledge into practical application. The ideas given by Prabhupada, the acharyas, we have to use that. And then it becomes our habit. And it's not artificial because it is the reality. Everyone has super soul within. Everyone is a vibhinangsa, angsa of Kṛṣṇa. So if we're just seeing on the bodily platform, we remain. We're just taking on another illusion. You understand? But the sages, they have the vision of transcendence. But it's not just there, they see it here. Because the material world is a mixture of transcendence and material energy. Do you see? So we have to focus on the spiritual platform. Is it clear? Through knowledge given by Srila Prabhupada, the sadhus, parampara. And then, we get realization of Vaikuntha and Kṛṣṇa. We can chant better, and we get eternal life. Does that answer your question? Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tad paratrena nirmalam, all gone. Then Rishikena Rishikesha, service to the Lord of the senses, Kṛṣṇa, within the heart, sevanam bhakti uchite. That is bhakti. When you first cancel out all the illusory ideas, and you see on the spiritual platform, the platform of Satchidananda, then you can serve Kṛṣṇa on the spiritual platform, and that is Sanatan Dham. Do you see the point? But if we're just reacting, oh, I don't like him, oh, she's nice, then we're just being pushed and pulled. So we have to replace that focus with a spiritual focus based on the knowledge that this material world is just an agitation of the pradan by the time factor. You understand? And it comes just like, here's the pradan, right? Now, before creation, it's plain. But then creation comes and it develops shape, right? And then the time factor comes out and it becomes plain again. Do you see? So the glance of Vishnu agitates the pradan in this way as we were described, and then it's withdrawn. Creation, annihilation, pralaya. Creation, annihilation. You understand? Into the pradan, in and out. But those that focus on Vaikuntha in bhakti, they become liberated. Because Kṛṣṇa, I will help this person. I will give them knowledge in the heart. I will give them a good teacher. I will give them realization. I will give them inspiration like Narada Muni. I will help them. Because he is Suridam Sarva-bhutanam, the best friend, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in our sincerity is our perfection. Remember that. If you're sincere, then Kṛṣṇa will reciprocate. You don't have to think, it's all a bit. Just be sincere and Kṛṣṇa will enlighten you. There's no obstacle. Right? Thank you all very much. Hope to see you next week. Contemplate these ideas and remember, be cool, man. Be a sadhu. By what? By seeing the spiritual side, because the material energy and the spiritual energy, that is this part of the creation. It's a mixture of matter and spirit. So instead of focusing on matter, focus on spirit. It's very simple. And where do you get that spiritual knowledge? Pramana, from the sadhus, the shastra, and practice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you all very much. I hope you it wasn't too complicated. Quite simple, isn't it, really? You're all very learned devotees anyway, so you probably understand these things much better than me. Thank you all very much. Jai. Srila Prabhupada Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai.